What inspired me is simply that the Almighty God was very, very kind to me, and with His mercy and favor, I think I needed to write this book so that people can understand exactly what transpired and maybe inspire other citizens who will be interested in contributing to the society, that anything is possible if God, blesses it, and if the people see the value you can add, and if you are able to work hard to achieve that dream. That's why I think I should write a book chronicling the events. I would say President Buhari has done well given the circumstances that he has found himself and the circumstances that he met the country. And I argue this all the time because I do know where we are coming from. We are a country that was, drifting downward. And the president came in at a time things were so bad, and unfortunately, the oil prices, we run a mono economy, we depend on oil strictly. The oil prices plummeted to about, I think, $20 or so, and since then it's been crawling. Now, but this president, with his prudence and discipline, has tried as much as possible to keep the economy running for years. And I can tell you are aware how much bailouts he has to do for space. And they did that regardless of your political party. That was very good.
The Empower.
A lot of social intervention programs to support the masses and the youth have been implemented. Security-wise, we all know Boko Haram was actually overrunning the whole country, and Abuja we couldn't go to.
No area.
It was getting very, very bad, and at least it came and halted that to a very large extent. But as you know, with the kind of warfare Boko Haram is engaging, the more you push them away, they go and
form different
groups, and they come in different forms. They hide under and hit you in different places. But generally, even with Boko Haram, the president has been able to contain it, because without the president's actions and without him being in charge, and without the decisions and actions he has taken, we don't know where we will have been with Boko Haram. But unfortunately, security is a whole web. As we are managing the Boko Haram crisis, other security issues started emerging in other areas. Banditry, Fulani herdsmen, kidnapping, they all start emerging from all directions. And by the way, I can tell you that the resources we have for managing our security, both the personnel, the technology, and it's still limited. It's not so much as we think. There is still a limitation of what we have and with what we need. So I do think that what is left is for the society, the communities, to contribute more in managing the security. So by and large, I think the president has done well given the circumstances he has found himself, but he could have done better. There are other areas of improvement that I think will have made him to have gotten an A+. But for now, I will tell you that he has done his very best. I think the legislator has done well. We are not where we should be yet, given that it's the youngest arm of government. Because of the incursion of military in politics, they always suspend the legislature. So, but the legislature have tried to, as much as possible, defend the institution, try as much as possible carry out its functions, which essentially is making of laws, approvals of appointments, oversight functions of the executives, budget approvals, and so on. So the legislature have done well, especially at the National Assembly level. We have tried as much as possible to cooperate and collaborate with the executive, especially the night assembly. Although other assembly there have been a lot of discordant and confusion. But so by the night assembly now there is a more stability, there is more cooperation. Yet we try to still keep our independence as much as possible because we are. No. I don't think so. The committee is a party affair. I hope you know that it's a party affair. It's a committee to help strengthen our party and serve our party, that is the APC. Even as a legislature, we all belong to a party. So our function as legislature is different from the function of those committee members trying to stabilize the party and resolve all issues. So I do not think our involvement as legislature in that committee will interfere with our independence or our functions as legislature. We know what our responsibilities are and what our roles are. And you can't have that committee without involving the legislature. In fact, the legislature is the center of democracy because we represent the people. So how do you solve a party problem? How do you move a party forward without involving the representative of the people? That's the logic. The legislature has to be there, and it has nothing to do with our function. We can say that can be separated. They are not related together. Well, our party has done very well insofar as our manifesto and our programs and what we've been able to do so far is concerned. Youth are at the center of the programs of the All Progressive Congress, and we are clear in the manifesto. All the social intervention programs all have been implemented since the party came in, and for those who don't know can criticize that nothing is happening, but for those who know, those who benefit from this program, they know the value of getting access to 10,000, 20,000, whether as trader money or as through Empower or through Shopee, through any of these programs. The people, the youth that benefited know what difference that has made to them. Although the implementation can be made better, especially if you involve the representative of the people, that is the legislature from federal to state level, in the implementation of this plan, because we know the people. We are the people that have contact with the citizens, so we can do better in its implementation. But so far so good. There has been a significant impact on the citizen. I tell you, without some of these social intervention programs, only God knows where the youth will be in this country, given their exclusion in so many of the economic facets of our national life. But the APC government, led by President Muhammadu Buhari, has significantly touched the life of most of our youth that are lucky to be part of it. But more can be done, I believe so. I think the youth are the most important group in the society because they are the future of the society. By the way, I'm not too much of a youth. Say I'm youth, I'm 50 now, so I'm a gateway between the youth and the old.
You are youth at heart.
Yes, I'm a youth at heart. I agree, youth at heart. And I see myself as a gateway between the elders and the youth.
Okay.
At the age of 50, and by my thinking, I think the two need to be connected to understand each other. Because I think the older generation don't understand the youth.
You are in the best place. You understand both sides
of the coin.
So if the youth, whatever the youth need from the other side, you will go and take it for them.
Absolutely.
Whatever the other side need from the youth.
Absolutely, and that's how my politics has been, and that's how I understand what my role should be. So far so good. The party has tried, but there's a lot of room for improvement because we need to support our youth more. We need to empower them more to be able to secure our future. Without empowering our youth and giving them the necessary tools, starting from a good functional education to giving them the platform opportunities to realize their potentials. If we don't do that, we will have a problem in the future in this country. So I still think we should invest more in the youth. First, let me say, I don't think the policies are bad. These are policies that we must face. No matter how much we run away from here, we avoid it. For this country to survive economically, we have to face the realities. Pump price, we have to deregulate. We have to get rid of fuel subsidy completely because it's been a wastage for decades in this country. So you can't run away from that. Electricity tariff. Most people don't pay electricity bills, and we have difficulty of ensuring that everybody gets the power it needs in this country. Timing of the increase, I do think is wrong, if you ask me, because we are in a crisis situation. The COVID-19 pandemic has, depleted so many people's sources of income. Businesses have been shaking, and the government is making so much efforts to support these businesses and trying to support people. And with the tariff increase suddenly at this time, I do think the timing is wrong. We in the National Assembly will be involved in these tariff discussions. There has been an engagement, and I think the National Assembly position was very clear that let's slow down the tariff increase until such a time that we are able to do A, B, C, D, including metering and avoidance of estimated billing, eradication of estimated billing. Until a time, and then we explain to the citizens why there is a need to increase, the electricity tariff. That's our position in National Assembly. So with the sudden increase, we are not in session, so I'm not even aware of the level of engagement the executive had with the legislature, at least the leadership, before taking that decision. But the position of the National Assembly was to slow down electricity tariff increase until such a time that it will be more appropriate to do that. But we can't run away from that too. People need to pay for, power they consume. But we need to do that with a human face that put into consideration those who cannot pay. But I also understand the increase has a band consideration. That the poor, not everybody is involved. There is that sensitivity which we are concerned. But to me, I'm affected because I just realized that my bills have increased by 100%, and I'm actually feeling the pain. Even as a senator, I can tell you that right away. So it's very expensive, but I thank God at least I can try to pay, and I'm happy to pay if I get the power to consume. But I'm more concerned about those who
small
people that will be adversely affected. But we cannot run away from it. We have to pay for the power we consume if we want to continue to have power in this country. But the timing, I think generally we are not comfortable. At least I am not comfortable, and I think I do know the position of the National Assembly as far as tariff increase is concerned. Well, it's the same thing. Look, fine economic decisions, especially in a developing country, is not going to be popular. It might not be politically correct to take some fine economic decision, but you might have to take hard economic decisions for the purpose of ensuring quality, sustainable services to the people. So I think we can't run away from paying for water if we want to continue to enjoy good supply of water. But whatever it is, I do think that let's do this with a human face, and let's ensure that the citizens are not exploited. Let's ensure some people don't suffer, unfairly because of this bill. Well, it's easier said than done. I don't think we can have a brand new constitution, in my own opinion. But I still think we can review our constitution and take care of all the contentious issues in the country. We listen to all people's concerns and make sure we cater for those concerns to ensure stability, harmony, and progress as a country. But I don't think our constitution, as it is bad in itself. It has lacunas, it has weaknesses, but more than that, it's about how we operate it, how we interpret it, is what is the real challenge in our opinion. I don't think the constitution is that bad. Yes, there are gaps. Those are all conspiracy theories that people talk about without knowing what's really going on. That's news to me. I'm not aware of that, but I'm aware that there are a lot of renovations and improvements going on in the National Assembly. which makes it unlikely for us to assume within the week as planned. So basically, it's just a matter of ensuring that the National Assembly is renovated properly, not full renovation, to make sure all necessary structures and facilities to make it more COVID-19 compliant and other technological improvement is what made to the postponement of the resumption. For this night assembly, any corruption case, any issue, we take it head on. It doesn't matter when, who is involved or whatever. So there is nothing like postponing a whole resumption because of slowing down investigations. Yes, I believe in zoning. If for nothing, without zoning, it will be more difficult for me to be sitting down here today as a senator. Frankly speaking, I will tell you that zoning, like I argued in my book, is a very good tool. It has its weaknesses, but it's a very good tool in balancing, in stabilizing, in taking care of all interest groups in a multifaceted society, both religious, cultural, traditional, name it. So I believe in zoning. Now again, 2023 zoning. First, is it in the Nigerian Constitution? No, it's not in the Nigerian Constitution. That's the first supreme thing. So for any argument you argue, after that you are just arguing because it's the Constitution that guides everything. So it's not constitutional. However, like I mentioned earlier, that it's a very good tool to ensure you stabilize,
Additional.
Because of that, in fact, I if I'm correct, I think some parties in the past have actually inserted zoning in their constitution. But from what I know as of today, our party, the All Progressive Congress, does not have zoning in our constitution. I think by the nature of the practice and the psyche of the society, I still think we should encourage zoning. So, going by that logic, it means that after the 8 years of the North, naturally I will expect that the next president should come from the South, based on practice and the psyche of the country. So again, you also ask, which zone do I think? Which zone do I think? Well, I will imagine that because of that fundamental principle of all inclusiveness, trying to stabilize the country, you should zone it to the zone that has not enjoyed the city, if you ask me. So if you zone it to the south, you have southwest, you have south-south, you have southeast. Out of all the three southern zones, to me I think southeast is the one that has not really enjoyed that very well. So with simple logic and sympathy and all of that, you imagine that if any party is able to say, okay, I'm zoning it to south, you should consider south is fair. However, politics, unfortunately, is a game of negotiation, numbers, and all of this. So and nobody gives you power by sympathy. Yeah, it can happen. No, nobody that. But it has happened where you try to consider certain factors and unanimously say, okay, let's go. It can happen based on what the stakeholder and the leaders think. So, but the most important thing is in 2023, as well, we are practicing democracy, is whoever the Nigerian people want to be their president that they are going to vote for. The parties as associations are free to take a decision on where they want their candidate to come from. For example, if it's not any party is considering it, by that same argument, Northeast seems to be the one that has been not lucky enough. It's Northeast, right? Northwest, I've had a lot of shots. North Central, my own zone, we have some level of fair share in the governance of the country. Northeast, and I don't know whether it's coincident. In the North, it is Northeast. In the South, it is Southeast. That is not lucky. Maybe the eastern part, I don't know why that. But so I think that if you want the presidency, so maybe the east, southeast, northeast. But seriously, I think our leaders can consider how to make it inclusive and look at possibility of zoning because I believe it's good for stabilizing a society. But in politics and power, it's about negotiation and how much you are able to fight for what you want and how other people are able to trust you and accept you to give you what you want. Kwara is getting developed slowly, and I can tell you the governor of Kwara State, Abdurrahman Abdurazak, is a very hard-working and humble governor, and he's strategic. He is looking at the state on how to improve the economy of the state, to be able to uplift the poor people out of poverty, to be able to help the youth, the women. By the way, I think he's the largest employer of women in his government in this country, if I'm not mistaken, because he's interested in women emancipation and promotion. So we are on course in Kwara State. Most people who understand are very happy. A few are slightly confused. Some that don't understand are also there, but with time, everybody will get to see the big picture on where we came from, where we are, and where we need to go as a state. So yes, the Otage movement was a worldwide movement, and the people are seeing the result slowly, but they haven't seen enough of the result because we are still doing a lot of work. Both those of us at the federal level, we are working in collaboration with the state government. We are cooperating, working together in a synergy to be able to, move our people to the promised land. The first year, I've also learned a lot of lessons, skills, and techniques in the first year. So in the second year, they should expect an improved senator to represent them in the Senate, both in taking care of, their concerns on the floor of the House. They should expect that projects will be improved from what we are able to do from the first year because we've learned a lot of lessons on how to do better. They should expect better performance as we resume in the second year.